My name's Hanley. I'm the host of On the Line With, a podcast based out of Ottawa. We speak about the arts, mental health, drug addiction, social causes and issues, and we're not here commending them or glorifying them. We're here speaking about it, getting down to the facts, getting down to the causes and effects, where it leads people, how it hurts people, how it hurts you. We're here to talk about how people deal with their mental health, self-care, self-love. The show's about helping and inspiring. Nothing more than that. My goal is to help and inspire. And when I say that, I mean help and inspire by helping someone maybe go and get the help they need for their addiction, or inspire someone to pick up a microphone or a pen or a brush and create an art. That's what we're here for. So again, my name's Hanley, and you'll be on the line with me. And we're back. Welcome to On the Line With episode 5. Today I'm on the line with Cloz3d Caption, local hip-hop artist out of Ottawa, /Aylmer, 613-819. I'm going to let him introduce himself, so here you go.
What's up? My name's Cloz3d Caption. I'm a hip-hop artist from Ottawa, 819/613, Gatineau, Quebec. I make dope tracks. I got dope flows. I make dope rhymes. And I got dope bros, like this man right here sitting beside me. That's the vibe. You know the vibe.
That's what's up. All right, let's start. So you've been making music now for how long?
4 or 5 years now, I'd say, like actually making real music, and all the years before that, like just writing and like not recording anything, but like writing tracks, writing poetry, whatever you want to call them, lyrics.
And you released Back at the Moon and Illusions, when, 2020?
I think it was this year.
It was this year?
Yeah, it was this year.
Look, lately I've been searching for a different way to do this. I've been digging deep inside me, but these efforts seeming fruitless. It's been a while now since I felt anything but lost and clueless. What if music doesn't cut it and no longer gets me through it? I'm the first to check myself if I'm the one that's getting foolish. Things have changed now and it's my mind that has started playing Judas. These are lies upon lies. You just love keeping me clueless. Am I not convincing myself that I'm done with being stupid? My grasp on reality seems to be loosening. I'm stuck in the past. My past view loses focus, and then I must focus into the heart of the problem. I'm lost in myself and I'm lost in my conscience. I sent all the letters with no response, with nothing to do, there's no more option. You cover my neck with something to prove, you'll find out real quick, got nothing to lose. Saw through the pain and paid on my dues. Hop on this train and live in my shoes. Follow the path, you find the abuse, not follow the trauma and type the news. Leave it behind and call the truth. I'm done realize just want the truth. I picked it apart and I dug for the roots. I packed it all up and I shot for the moon. I prayed that I won't come back down soon, like an addict clutching silver spoon. He's so in tune with the signs of his own doom. Do us both a favor now and don't ever approach me to assume. I'm just so done with pretending. Fake lies and imposters are trending. Real life to them is offending. This is a message I'm sending. The time for fake shit is ending. Your words are clearly pretending, and I just won't be investing in all your blessings. All blessings, I'm so done with pretending. Fake lies and imposters are trending. Real life to them is offending. This is a message I'm sending. The time for fake shit is ending. Your words are clearly pretending, and I just won't be investing in all your blessings. All blessings, all blessings. It's funny to me that you talk about all that real shit in your music. I guess talking about your new whip and dope is super therapeutic. But what do we do when all of these kids are riddled with confusion? You sold them a lie and then they all die your illusions they're abusing. You sold out, you sell out with no shame and no doubt. You clout chase, you praise fame, you make it, that's fair game. You smile big with no pain, your ego is inflamed. It's copies are copies are copies, you're all the same. Trust I'm the first to check myself if I'm the one that's getting foolish. Things have changed now and it's my mind that has started playing Judas. These are lies upon lies. You just love keeping me clueless. Am I not convincing myself that I'm done with being stupid? My grasp on reality seems to be loosening. I'm stuck in the past. While my past view loses focus, and then I must focus into the heart of the problem. I'm lost in myself and I'm lost in my conscience. I sent all the letters with no response, with nothing to do, there's no more options. Yeah, my eyes are dry to fortified. The walls are building much too high. Breaking down to redefine the page written. Read the lines and leave behind a peace of mind. Be kind, remind, realign, redefine, total line, outshine, gold mine inside. It's mine aside. This is our time now. Come on, all let's get outside. Raining critics, they're careless about artistics, then picking apart analytics and who's preaching the biggest gimmick. Let hip hop be my witness. I'll stick with written linguistics and win the human Olympics for staying grounded, simplistic. I'm just so done with pretending. Fake lies, imposters are trending. Real life to them is fake lies and imposters are trending. Real life to them is offending. This is a message I'm sending. The time for fake shit is ending. Your words are clearly pretending, and I just won't be investing in all your blessings. All blessings, all blessings.
Okay, so
Past few months, I think. I don't know, man. Time flies with the COVID stuff. It's crazy.
it's very true.
But yeah, no, I had like a 3-month period where I was just going hard recording. So I recorded Back at the Moon's Illusions and Headlines and another one that I don't think I'm ever going to release. But yeah, I wrote those 3 in like 2 months and then released all of them.
And how was the response?
Good response, man. People are cool. They say really nice stuff. They support. But I mean, like,
I haven't heard Headlines, have I?
No, you've not heard Headlines because Headlines was released, but it hasn't been officially released on YouTube.
I think we should make it an exclusive.
And I think we should make it. That's exactly what I was thinking. We should make it an exclusive.
All right, so everybody, we got an exclusive track. I'm going to post it on our YouTube as well.
Yep.
But we got an exclusive track from Cloz3d Caption, it looks like, named Headlines. So shit's about to get fucking dope.
Yep.
All right, excuse my language. I try not to swear much on the podcast, but today's a different day.
It happens.
But back to the music. What was the concept behind Back at the Moon? Because I know, like, it was like kind of like Howlin' Back at the Moon, right? That was it.
Yeah. It was a super emotional song to record. By far the most emotional song I've ever recorded. I mean, like, within the first 10 seconds, 15 seconds, you hear me bawling my eyes out on the mic. It was 100% real. I didn't fucking pause and try to cry for the track. I was losing my shit. I finished recording the second verse, and it was it's all my songs are written to be very personal. Like, they're all very personal, and I always have a very specific thing in mind.
Yeah, you make yourself vulnerable on every track.
I do, but I also try to say it in a way that's kind of vague, so as many people as possible can relate to the feeling and not just like the specific thing I'm going through.
Right.
Because there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to know exactly what I'm going through, but the feeling is like the common denominator between like all of us. So.
Well, that's why you're on the show, so people can know how you're feeling and what you're going through.
Yes, sir.
You got to be vulnerable on my podcast. That's how we do it.
I'm glad to be here, man.
I know, and I appreciate you coming on. And so Back at the Moon, that was a good concept. How about Illusions? What's up with Illusions? Because that track was really dope. That's the first track that I heard when you first came and introduced yourself to me on Instagram. Shout out to him for coming up and giving me some praise about the podcast before we even launched, I think. I think it was right before we launched.
Yeah, it was right before the first episode.
Because I had our mutual friend, Norman McAvoy.
Shout out, Norm. You're a legend. We love you.
You're a beaut, buddy. You're a beaut.
Yeah.
And he basically introduced us, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so shout out, Norm.
I was playing COD with him, and he's like, yo, you should really hit up my boy. He's doing something great. He's doing all this with mental health and like music and arts and stuff. And I was like, yep, right away. That's my shit. So,
well, thank you. Shout out to Norm again. And his IG is Norman Clickbaits. Go check him out. His voiceovers are fucking hilarious. Incredible. And yeah, he really knows what he's doing. But back to you. So Illusions, what was up with Illusions? We didn't get that.
I think it's like most of the songs recently that I've been doing, except for Back at the Moon, like Illusions and Headlines, are both kind of touching on the same subjects of like what the industry is doing, what hip hop is doing right now, the messages that are being sent, the people that are getting screwed up because of the messages that are being sent.
Wrong connections.
Yeah. And so
if someone listens to it, the first bar, they're going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited to hear Headlines. I hope everybody else is too, because I haven't heard it, honest to God.
I think it's my best work, arguably. I say that every new song. Every new song I put out, I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever done. Well,
that's what most artists happen to do. They feel like they got better after each track. That's the thing, man.
But then I sit on it for a few weeks, and then I'm like, I suck at all of this.
That's because you listen to it too much, and then you found too many problems.
Maybe, yeah, it could be. I think I just like,
It's all in your head, man. It's your subconscious.
oh yeah, I'm super critical. I find it's like I have to
Everybody's
remind
their
myself.
own worst critic.
Yeah,
man.
100%.
Trust me.
100%. And I feel like you notice as an artist all the little minor details that a regular listener would never know that you messed up.
Nope.
Because you're holding yourself to your standards and what you think you could have done.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why now I don't hold on to tracks for too long. I just set them up to be released, or else I won't release them. So. And
you release them by your own doing, right? You don't have anybody promoting or pushing it, no company or anything.
I mean, I run my stuff through like DistroKid to send to all of the put out the tracks just like everybody else does. But no, I do everything pretty much myself.
Maybe when we finally finish setting up our distribution company, I mean, we'll distribute your music for free.
Good shit.
The podcast is under 2P Media. Yeah. And then we're going to have the music section where we're distributing local artist music for free. Mm-hmm. Then if it works out, we'll talk. That's the thing. I do this because I want to help people, not because I'm getting paid, but when COVID stops. Like I said, I've never heard headlines, so that's about the same thing, basically.
It's basically my frustrations that I have. I mean, with the industry, with hip hop, with what's going on, with what we're doing to the kids, to the youth that are listening to the songs, what we're doing to music, man. It seems like we've like completely lost.
What are you upset about in the music industry? Because it sounds like you have it sounds personal, but obviously it's not, because it can't really, well, I guess it could be personal. You could have your opinion on the music industry.
I think it's just a whole system. It's a system of one, the art, like the record labels and the companies that own shit are obviously on the hunt for a certain image, a certain style, a certain lyrical substance, and right now it seems like the majority of those,
the ones that do get there, end up dying.
Yeah, of course. And then you have stories like with different artists that pass away from drug use, and then you hear rumblings about the labels that were supplying them the drugs and were supplying this and that, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It seems like the whole system in hip hop, it's not about the music anymore. Like I feel like it hasn't been about the music for a while now.
It's all the image.
Yeah, it's all the image.
You won't see me on the front of
XXL's
freshman, even if I started putting out bars again and making records that were hitting the radio and enough buzz, I still wouldn't make freshman. No. Because I don't dress like any of them. My music kind of sounds like theirs, except less melodic, more
It's the
bars.
Image. It's the image, what they can sell.
And how many
double XL performances have been more about the style than the substance? In the past, maybe 4 or 5 years, a significant chunk. Yeah, not to talk shit about anybody, but it's like when you're going up there, and the thing that I remember after you're done is what you were wearing and how much your watch was worth, and how many how many bottles of syrup you downed right before the performance where I can barely understand you. Is that the message we're sending? Is that the message that we're sending to everybody right now? To all, hip hop?
Well, don't worry about everybody, because the adults and stuff can make their opinions and choices. But the kids listening, it's what I'm concerned about now.
It's not even my problem isn't with drug use. My problem is not with drug use. My problem has never been with drug use. My problem is with how we talk about it. Hip hop back in the day, when gangster rap was coming out, right?
Listen to Snoop Dogg back in the day. That was the type of weed music and shit we listened to. Now you listen to somebody, everybody's talking about Xanax bars or opiates.
The thing is that back then they were talking about the life and the experience that they were going through. Mm-hmm. They were growing up in this. Their family was involved in this, their brothers, anybody, their sisters, right? Were all involved in this life, and they were talking about the life and the cards that they were dealt. They were never glorifying it, right?
Just
back in the day, it was exactly, it's like this. This is it's not glorifying. We're not glorifying mental health or any of these things, right?
We're just
Or,
trying
like,
to
drug
get
use.
the personal story out of the
Yeah.
person behind the artist, not the artist.
Exactly.
We talk about the music, but I'm more here focused talking to Carl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Cloz3d Caption's first name. I'm not going to say his last name because you guys don't need it.
It's Burgundy.
Carl Burgundy.
Yes. Yes.
That's a very, very nice name.
Thank you. My parents gave it to me.
It must look great on resumes. They must look at it and say Burgundy.
Yeah. I write it on my resume in a burgundy colored pen.
That's
just to, you know.
It's very clever.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta, you know.
You have any projects in the works, like an EP or?
I think that like I want to wait, like for an album, I want to wait for my first album. I want to be where I think that my first, like I want my skill level to attain what I think it should be for somebody that puts out a first album.
Right.
Because I feel like the first album, it's you setting the tone for your career. It's you setting the tone for who you are and your introduction. Because people can listen to songs here and there, right?
Yeah.
But like an album's an album. I don't know when an album's going to come out. I don't know when a mixtape's going to come out. Right now, I'm pretty much focused on just writing songs and putting out songs.
Yeah.
And just focusing on making each individual piece of music as good as it can be on its own. And then once I feel like I've arrived at the point that the album, I feel like I'll know when it's the time.
Good stuff, good stuff. And you also play guitar too, right? Because you sent me a couple snippets on the beats that I sent you to check out. You shredded the guitar and made that beat go from a 7 to a 9, man.
Oof. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've played guitar for a long time. Probably since I was like, I don't know, maybe 13, 14.
Are you as good on the acoustic as you are on the electric?
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely are great at guitar. And you said how
Thanks,
long
man.
you've been playing?
Since I was like 13, 14, I think. But I stopped for like a long time.
Did you self-teach?
I took very basic like classical guitar lessons, like nylon string classical guitar lessons. And then I self-taught myself from there. It's pretty much just been me jamming with a guitar since that age. I learned the basics and then I just kind of flew on my own, it's the same thing I like to do with anything creative. I like getting like information on the basics on how to like get yourself started. And then I just want to fly on my own, you know?
Yeah.
Which often takes me longer to like learn stuff because I'm a perfectionist and I try to do everything alone, which is not very healthy.
And did you add
On my
guitar?
tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it on only one track, and it was "If I Go to Sleep" was the name of the song.
That's on your YouTube?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube. It's pretty much on everything, I think.
And
Maybe not. Maybe it's not on my YouTube. Who knows?
I'll have to check
Yeah,
because I want to hear that guitar,
it
goddamn.
might be. I think it is.
And so you only started several years ago. It seems like you started making music a little later than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're my age, so I would have figured you'd be in the scene when I was making music and just didn't know you because you were in Aylmer, but you just started fairly recently, we could say.
Absolutely.
Why is that? What took you so long to get into the music scene in Ottawa?
I was always in the music scene in my head. Like I remember like being a kid and having like my dream was like to play like a sold out show, right, in front of a bunch of people. So I always had it and I always like wrote music and I always did that. But I was raised in an environment where it like there's certain things that were encouraged very heavily and others that were discouraged or disfavored or like not the right thing to do. So I think for a long time, music was on the back burner for me as something that I wanted to do, but something that wouldn't be seen. Like, I guess you could look at it like, is any family or any parents like super stoked to hear that like their kid's dream is like to be a musician? Like parents know that like, you know, but it was like that to like a little bit more of an extreme extent. Like it wasn't really allowed as like a career path to follow. So I just like put it aside for a long time and told myself that it's like, I was also afraid. Like a big part of it is being afraid of doing it. Like why I didn't do it sooner was like, what if you fail at the one dream that you've always had? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the most terrifying thing to me.
Very.
It's like, okay, so this is like, I'm lucky. Not everybody not everybody knows what they want to do, right? Not everybody has that thing inside of them that tells me that the one thing that they need to do in life is this and that, this or that, right? Yeah. And for me, it's always been music. So I consider myself lucky that I've always known in my heart that that's what I needed to do. But for a long time, there were other priorities that were favored above music making by my environment and the people that were around me and the people that were my friends and, you know, this and that, my environment basically. So yeah, that's why it took so long. And now I'm here.
Sounds very, very complicated.
It is.
And is it still tough?
Yeah, of course it is. It's tough to have made certain choices that people that are close to you or that have been close to you your whole life won't necessarily ever agree with or like side with you on your decision, which makes it hard because then the people that are the closest and the people that were supposed to have been the ones that encourage you to follow your dream and want you to like will be stoked for you when you're making steps in your like towards your dream, towards your goal. It's hard to not have that all the time. And yeah, I think it's hard, dude. It's hard, but it's not just hard because of that. Like, yeah.
Well, you said you lost a friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I told you that. Yeah, I've lost a lot of friends, dude.
And that was because you chose music.
Yeah. Yeah.
To most people, this is going to sound ridiculous.
Yeah. And you won't necessarily understand what I mean here because I'm being purposefully vague, but
we spoke behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We decided to talk about it, but in a
respectful,
exactly. So
vague manner.
no one gets offended and no one
takes things the wrong way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you being vulnerable and open with me about it,
man. And, but it's like it's a lot of people will deal with that too, right? Like I had a good friend who grew up in another strict family, right? And they weren't happy. Like they weren't happy when they found out that music was his dream or his goal or whatever. But you know, it's kind of the same feeling. It's a very different situation in my case, but it's it's like the common feeling of like not having the support that you need to like go into certain things, right? When everybody's telling you to not do something and you still want to do it and you still feel like you should do it, you know, it's like tough to make that decision because you're trying to keep everybody else happy that wants you to do certain things or follow a certain path. And you're also trying to make yourself happy. So you have to choose at some point. There's a choice to make where you have to put yourself first or you have to continue to put everybody else before yourself. And when I chose music over as like what I wanted to do in my life and as what is my dream, what is my goal, I lost a lot of people because of that. Because there's a lot of people in my life that really, really, really wanted me to follow other paths. Lost a lot of people because of it, but I've gained a lot of people because of it too. I've gained even more. I've gained much more than I ever had before.
Do you think that going through all that made you a better artist? Oh,
yeah, no, of course. I wouldn't be an artist if I hadn't gone through this stuff. Like I wouldn't have something to write about. I can't just go and write about like partying and fast whips and just like all the shit that everybody talks about all the time. Like I can't do that. It's not because I don't enjoy it. I like everybody else, I love to party out to dope track, you know, or like something that has dope bass or good groove or whatever. But like I can't do that. The only thing I can do is write the stuff that I've been through and the stuff that I've seen and the stuff that I feel. It's my therapy. Like I do it because it helps me feel better and it makes me feel better. And it like allows me to let out everything that I've always kept in and always struggled with on my own, right? I can say things in my songs that I would never be able to say without it being in a song.
Right.
Because that's why I love hip hop so much, because hip hop, it's therapy, so open. It's so open to like, you can do anything in hip hop.
Yep.
You can literally do anything. It's the one genre where you can get away with pretty much talking about anything or doing anything.
Yep.
So it gives me free reign to let out all the stuff I have in a creative way and in a way that can help me, that helps me and can hopefully help other people too, you know?
Yeah.
That was a long tangent for that one question, but
it's all good.
Yeah.
Glad you're being honest and open.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you answering that question the way you did, and I'm sure the listeners will appreciate it too, and I'm sure they'll have some questions for you. So I wouldn't be surprised if they want to know exactly what you're talking about and hit you up on Instagram. But besides that, let's get into some more tough talk since you've already did some tough talk. Let's get into the mental health and
what do you want to know?
From what we've discussed behind the scenes, you've been diagnosed by a doctor with a certain mental health issue.
Yep.
What exactly was that?
PTSD was at 19.
And what caused that?
A lot of stuff that happened in my childhood with the situation that I vaguely spoke on previously, but also I was heavily bullied in like the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. I had to change schools in the 7th grade because it was getting like really bad.
Really? It was that bad that you...
Oh yeah, it was terrible, dude. The bullying was horrendous. They were like
I can't see what they would bully you about.
Yeah. Well, I was not the person I am today at all.
Fair enough. It's grade 7 and 8, 9, yeah. But
I think that like kids and bullies, like they're very quick to pick up on somebody that's like a victim in life or that's like been victimized in certain ways. And I think that they like know immediately who's the like right target that they're gonna get the most out of type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was bad, dude. They'd follow me after school. They'd beat the shit out of me. They'd like pin me down. I'm definitely allergic to peanuts, right? And nuts. So obviously I can't eat nuts. Like these guys would like 5 guys in high school in 7th grade would pin me down in the corner and try to feed me a peanut butter sandwich.
That's fucked up.
Like that's what I'm talking about.
That's some fucked up shit.
But nothing hurt more than the time that they stole my quote unquote poem book at the time and burned it and left it in front of my locker. That was the worst, dude. I didn't write for like...
So that was like your music book and they just destroyed it?
It wasn't my music book at the time. It was like my lyric poem book, whatever how you want to call it. But dude, it's like I didn't write for like I had a like mental block after that. I wasn't able to write for like maybe 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, because you're so focused on what they did that you're just...
I didn't even want to write lyrics anymore. I'm like, well, shit, this is what I get for like at that age. I was like, this is what I deserve for being creative and like
no, that's not
trying
true,
to do
man.
my shit, you know?
That's not true. And now I know now you know that it's not true.
Yeah, I know it now.
But when you're younger, I understand. So you're diagnosed with PTSD from the bullying and stuff?
Yeah, a bunch of shit. Depression, obviously.
And how do you deal with your depression? How have you been dealing with it? Are you still struggling with it?
Oh, yeah. So I'm always going to struggle with it. It comes in waves, right?
So you're you might even be bipolar if it's a mood.
No, I'm not bipolar. I'm fairly level-headed.
Mm-hmm.
But like my anxiety, like I have obviously a diagnosed anxiety issue and like recurring depression and PTSD. So like a bunch of shit, right?
I mean, you have similar things. Yeah. I don't have PTSD. Not that I know of. I might, but I don't think so. I don't even know the trauma that my doctor says I have repressed, and that's why I need to go speak to a therapist and a psychologist and all these other types of doctors. Yeah, everything. But yeah, back to you. So when you're depressed, what do you look to help you though? Like what? Like
it's usually music and like.
I'm not surprised by that answer.
No, dude, it's like that's how I cope. And every time, the problem is I forget about it. I get lazy or I get anxious or I get depressed or I like whatever happens right in my brain. And I like, I don't even know how to say it. Yeah, I deal with it with music. That's all I do. It's like music is what always brings me back to like semi-sanity. And I forget about it though. I like get lazy and depressed and anxious and all that. And I forget what music does for me every time I stick with it and I keep working at it and I keep like just living in that creative space. Right. And then I'll write a shit ton and I'll make a bunch of tracks and then I'll burn myself out and then I'll get anxious and depressed and then I'll forget about it. Like I'll forget about the feeling that music gives me when I'm recording and when I'm writing and like, it's like bliss, man. It's like that moment of creation, that moment where you come up with something that you never thought you'd be able to come up with. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Like that's there's no drug that compares to that for me. Like that's my drug, is that feeling of like finally getting something out that's been inside of you for so long and getting it out in like an artistic, a beautiful, a painful, whatever way, you know? Yeah. I think it's just, yeah, that's what it is, man. That's music is how I deal with it.
And how long have you been struggling with these things? Oh, you said PTSD at 19, right?
PTSD was 19, but like as early as I remember, I think there's been like some depression or some form of like, uneasiness, I guess, as long as I can remember.
Okay.
I'm very critical. So like, that's the thing. I'm very critical of myself and like, fucking, like you said, we're our own worst enemies.
Exactly.
And we're very good at it.
Our own worst enemies, and our enemy of our enemy is my friend.
Yeah. Even hell can get comfy once you've settled in, right?
Exactly. So. But the thing about depression, like with me, is like if I don't get up and do something while I'm depressed, then I end up in a slump.
For sure. Like for me, the thing that helps me is like you said, is getting out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like I need to have stuff. Like it's hard for me to do. Making a schedule has always been something that's been like stressful for me to do. I don't know why. Like doing stuff has never been stressful, like at least back in the day. Now it's different, but like, yeah, it's, I don't know, dude. It's like, fuck. Thinking about a bunch of shit right now.
Today we're together.
Yeah.
We met up early.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling like today?
Today's not too bad. A lot of anxiety today compared to like the past few days.
And why do you think that? You think it's because you're on this?
No. I think it's just like, it's my self-criticism. Like it's my anxiety stems from like me talking shit to myself, you know?
I feel you.
And like it can be a vicious circle because it's like you get depressed, you don't want to do anything, and you feel like you can't do anything. So then you don't do anything, but then you get more depressed because you're not doing anything. So it's like this like circle.
It's a vicious circle.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle. So the way I break it is like having stuff that I can do and having stuff set up. Even though it stresses me to like plan stuff out in detail,
right?
You have to plan stuff and you have to set up stuff for you each day that's going to motivate you to get out of bed and do stuff.
Right.
And if there's days where you can't do it, can't beat yourself up on those days. Like if there's days where all you can do is just like
stay in bed,
not follow the schedule or whatever, and just that's cool. You can have that day to yourself, but it's those days that like, you know, those are the days that you end up being most hard on yourself for, but it's the days you do end up being most hard.
You beat the shit out of yourself emotionally and you just, it's game over if you're not attempting to try and do something.
Honestly, dude, as long as I have like good beats and an ability to like write and record music, I think I'll always like get out of my shit. Like I'll always get myself out of whatever it is that I'm going through.
Yeah.
Like it always feels like every time I go back to music, it just pulls me right back to life.
Right.
And it gives me life again. But then I don't stick with it and I get lazy and I get anxious and I let my shit take over and I let my excuses take over. And then we know what happens then, right?
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you being honest with this as well with me. So I'm sure people relate. I'm sure there's going to be people that relate, listeners that relate. I'm hoping anyway.
I'm sure.
This conversation about everything that's been tough on you helps someone realize that they could start music anytime. It doesn't matter. There's no age.
And I know that
age limit on starting.
Yeah.
So.
And I get that stress that if you're like, you think you're like, you've wasted too much time or you're too old to start to do something creative or like to continue pursuing it.
And a lot of people think that way, that it's too late to pursue it, but it never is.
It's like, I've lost so much time. I got to catch up for all this time. Nah, there's no better time to do it than like right now.
Right now is the best time.
And if you don't do it right now,
you won't do it ever.
No, because as soon as you give a choice to your brain, especially somebody that's like me, as soon as I give myself the choice to like not do something, I'm not going to do it. Right. So you have to like keep yourself accountable too, you know?
Right.
And like.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Now we got some questions from some listeners on Instagram. So I'm going to start with my fellow podcaster and friend, Mike from Talk to the Mic. He asks, what got him to decide to choose the music path?
Just knowing that's like I said, I just know. Like when there's something you're meant to do or something that you need to do in life, I feel like you just like, you know it. And you're lucky if you know it, and I'm lucky to know that there's nothing that's going to make me happier in life or that ever has than music.
Okay. Spit and Image came through and asked, how have you handled the trials and tribulations you've been through?
Poorly. Very, very poorly.
And what do you mean, like, why poorly? Why do you say poorly?
I mean, no, it wasn't poorly dealt with. I guess, you just keep going. Like, one foot in front of the other, 1 minute at a time. If that's all you can do, that's all you do. Like, there's going to be moments in, I guess, pretty much everybody's life where they're living like second to second or minute to minute, just trying to like, just do it. And you just keep doing that. And once you're done, you just keep doing that. And eventually things slowly start to get better. And like the shit that probably drove me crazy 3-4 years ago, I can laugh about them now, right? So like in the end, it's all gravy, man. It builds you up. It makes you who you are.
All right, fair enough. All right, so let's do quick 5. I'm gonna ask you 5 things and
answer off the top.
Exactly.
Cool.
You know the game.
I know the drill.
All right, so beer or hard liquor?
Neither.
Sativa or indica?
Hybrid.
Big or Pac?
Pac.
Fat Joe or Big Pun?
Fat Joe.
Last but not least, artists you'd want to collab with, dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Oof. Currently alive, NF by far. Dead. Fuck.
Any genre.
One. Oh, any genre?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. It's supposed to be quick 5. You can't make me think this much.
I said right off the top.
I don't
Who
know.
came to your head right off the top? Dead or alive for me, I think I'd go with Chester Bennington.
Oh, shit. That's, yeah. Actually, no. Actually, the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold. 100%. Yeah, the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold.
RIP to all 3 of them.
Yeah, RIP to all of them.
They all had some influence in the music I made.
Yeah.
Mostly Chester Bennington, because I listen to a lot of him and Mike Shinoda.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Even Fort Minor, dude.
Yeah.
Even Fort Minor was
pretty
sick
dope.
as shit, dude.
Yeah, but they were like one-hit wonders.
Yeah,
though,
of course.
Unfortunately.
Of course.
All right. So that's been episode 5. I'm your host, Hanley. And today I've been on the line with none other than my homeboy, Cloz3d Caption. I have a message today at the end of the episode speaking to all artists of all kinds. So I'll let Cloz3d Caption take us out. So go ahead.
First off, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I love what you're doing. I think what you're doing is important, and I think that you're going to do phenomenally at it. You're already doing phenomenal, and it's just going to keep getting better. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So I think we're going to, make this an occasion and release headlines officially on YouTube today. It's your exclusive, buddy. It's the exclusive On the Line with track right now.
All right, we got our first exclusive drop, and it was from Cloz3d Caption. I'm excited. And we'll drop that at the end of the podcast. He's got a little bit of things to say to the industry as far as I take from the track.
Yep.
I haven't heard it myself yet either, so I'll be hearing it with you guys. So
Why am I so cold when it's 25 outside? I've been told that I'm frozen in my own mind. Bold move to assume, but now I'm inclined. It's too soon to give away the punchline. Zoom, blindfolded, punch it down to the red line. Lost so much sleep, I've been missing all the deadlines. Center stage now, never going back to sideline. The kings arrive now, this is the headline. Hip-hop, now tell me what you believe in. Do you use that pen to give this some kind of meaning? Can your tracks talk pain and flip it into some healing? I doubt it since I live it. Here's your words, speaking deceiving. And you can stick around cheating all the minds that you're leading. Teasing the youth while you squeeze until they no longer breathe. It's just our morals you slash until all them bleeding. You can lead the horse to water, now it's time for the feeding. Jumping from Lambos to Rowries, from Perkies to Mollies. Your words to the youth, like y'all kamikazes. I enter this game, my dukes up like Rocky. The rhymes are sublime, it ain't about cocky. You're frontin' your past, you're frontin' your future. You're frontin' your presence is humor. You're cancer for hip-hop, removing the tumor. Shh, this ain't nothing but rumor. Jumping from Lambos to Rowries, from Perkies to Mollies. Your words to the youth, like y'all kamikazes. I enter this game, my dukes up like Rocky. The rhymes are sublime, it ain't about frontin' your past and frontin' your future. You're frontin' your present, your presence is humor. You're cancer for hip-hop, removing the tumor. This ain't nothing but rumor. I've slept long enough, now it's time for the takeover. Why y'all keep stunting G-Wagons and Range Rovers? Glossed over the worst and faking a makeover. Your social media posts are all label ordered. You say you don't forget where your roots came from, except 12-year-old you will beat your ass like a drum. Is this what you told yourself you'd become, or did you sell your soul when numbers rose in your income? I don't get why you're so entitled to fame. Counting bills, popping pills, that's the name of the game, right? How you gonna deal when it's dark with no spotlight and everything around you fades to the dark? And you can stick around cheating all the minds that you're leading, teasing the youth while you squeeze until they no longer breathe. It's just our morals you slash until all them bleeding. You can lead the horse to water, now it's time for the feed. Jumping from Lambos to Rarries, from Perkies to Mollies, your words to the youth like y'all kamikazes. I enter this game, my dukes up like Rocky. The rhymes are sublime, it ain't about cocky. You're fronting your past, you're fronting your future, you're fronting your presence. Your presence is humor, you're cancer for hip-hop, removing the tumor. Shh, this ain't nothing but rumor. Jumping from Lambos to Rarries, from Perkies to Mollies, your words to the youth like y'all kamikazes. I enter this game, my dukes up like Rocky. The rhymes are sublime, it ain't about fronting your past and fronting your future. You're fronting your present, your presence is humor. You're cancer for hip-hop, removing the tumor. This ain't nothing but rumor.
Alright, that was Headlines. Fantastic track, like all his others. Check his YouTube. But this message is to all artists of all kind, from rappers to singers, novelists to painters, etc. We're planning a fundraiser to help On the Line With, and we're looking for artists, again, of all kind, to come through and do a showcase. So if you're interested, we need about 4 or 5 musicians for the set, and we need people who have a piece of their artwork that they want showcased. DM me through Instagram or through facebook.com/onthelinewith, or by email at onthelinewith@gmail.com. Message me and let me know if you're interested. And we're looking for maybe 3 or 4 more artists, hopefully singers as well. Any type of genre of music, just hit me up. And we also need some artists who paint, draw, sketch, anything, to message me, and any piece of art you want showcased, I'll put up at the fundraiser if we're able to have the fundraiser go down. We're not sure of a date. I'll let you know as I do with everything. And if you have any questions, like I said, hit me up on Instagram. That's instagram.com/onthelinewith, twitter.com/onthelinewith, facebook.com/onthelinewith, everything/onthelinewith. Closed caption as well, as he's going to be helping me put it together slowly but surely. We're thinking probably summertime. So again, shout out to all artists of all kind, all genres, all types. Message me the fundraisers to help fund some more ways to make every episode better for you. So thank you in advance again. So thank you again to everybody for listening. This is episode 5. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks with episode 6. Thank you. It's your boy Hanley. I've been your host, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.